This is so sick. And there it goes. It just rises from the ether. Oh, and we can also see that there's coal in there just being ground. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to some more Subnauticraft, or Oceanblock 2 if you would prefer. I just grabbed a giant thing of tin. I didn't want that. Anyway, welcome back to some more Subnauticraft. Today, we are going to be getting into an interesting mod. I've never touched it before, but I've been looking a bit more into it, and it actually seems kind of cool, but also kind of mediocre at the same time. So, coolioker or mule? Yeah, a mule. It sounds so cool, it almost sounds like a real word. But I wonder what a mule could be. So what this mod is supposed to do is it kind of works like Project E and Equivalent Exchange, where you kind of just break down items that you can then pull out other items or those same items you put in later. But it goes a lot more in depth in this one. So it's very, very interesting. So for us to get started with the replication mod though, we are first going to need to get into something else. Now, we're going to start with Blaze Bloom Goo, which I already have. But we're also going to want to go ahead and grab ourselves some gold. Then I want to make sure I grab my icebreaker pick because I do want to keep my stuff. There we go. And then we can just go ahead and then put the gold in like this. And there we go. And now that is going to start to consume our gold, which it's going to take a little longer on this end. Did I put it on too soon and thus it didn't get the ice one's speed? It's kind of annoying. Okay. But yeah, we can just go ahead and then break the rest of these ones down. I'll get the last one later. And that... What? Huh? What? I can get these? What? Yeah, okay, that makes sense. But... Oh, wait, I wonder if this thing's gonna stop because that thing kind of stopped progressing. But, well, you know, it's fine. I'll sort that out later. But... Dude! You know how cool this thing would be in, like, a beehive build? Or like a cave with, like, amber and stuff? Dude! That is sick, but why do I have this? Wait, does my thing have silk touch? Oh, I got silk touch on this thing. I need another pickaxe, because both of these have silk touch. And there we go. We got ourselves our blaze gold, which now with that also unlocks a few other quest lines that we've gotten. That is fine. So after this, what we would now do is we would smelt down our blaze gold, and then we would get our ingots, and we'd mix it with some nether wart, and we get some of these polymorphic catalysts, which after we would throw this into some water, we would get ourselves something called polymorphic fluid. However, if I just go ahead and take some buckets and just venture off into the sea, where on earth is there's my boat. If we venture over here, some of this polymorphic whatchamacallits, I actually have gotten from loot drops. And when you don't collect the things in the loot drops, they just disperse into the sea. As we have established, when this stuff goes in the water, we get our polymorphic fluid. Boop. Now, I'm reluctant to do this because with lava and polymorphic fluid in a jar, we can end up getting something else that we don't want. But that's only if it's on a normal temperature. The one we want is on superheated, which we'll get by using polymorphic fluid, black quartz, and primal coal in our jar. I'm hoping that this doesn't cause problems. It has not. That is good. So now we can go ahead and throw these into here, and then with each recipe, that will absorb half of a bucket, and it will give us 2 replica. That is pretty good. Now, for us to get that primal coal, we do actually need to do the same thing we did over here for the blaze gold, but instead we put down coal blocks. And coal is kind of something we're running low on, which is something else I want to deal with all this, because this will hopefully help us out with that little process. But this is fine. Unfortunately, even for this, we are still going to need to use coal. Oh my gosh, it's not good. Fortunately, I do have a sort of pseudo solution just in case this goes wrong. So what I'm gonna want to do is I'm gonna want to turn my coal. Oh no. Oh no. I don't have enough. Oh dear. Okay, so what I was trying to do is if I had acquired 4 coal, I could have done something very, very special. And that would have been to make some coal essence, which would take 4 coal. But I am 1 of my mini coals short. Alrighty, so charcoal. Charcoal is our backup plan. That's great. So now, with that, we can go ahead and smelt down our replica. And I did speed up my furnaces because I remembered I have a temporal pouch thanks to the last video. We now get ourselves our ingot of replica. That is good. Oh, and our quest rewards will, of course, give us even more. So now that we've got ourselves our replica ingots, we can now go ahead and make ourselves these things called matter network pipes. So what these pipes are going to do is this is going to be what is going to allow us to replicate everything. It is going to be beautiful. And what we're going to need for this is we're going to need to hook it up to power. If I had thought ahead, I would have made another room over here to connect the pipes down directly from above, but I didn't think ahead. So we're just going to do this a bit jankily, but it'll be fine. So we just go ahead and put that up to there. We'll take up the dirt spot for the meantime, and there we go. Oh, wait. Oh, what in the Ben 10? This is so sick. So we've got it powered, but this is going to be for way more than that. We're also going to need to hook up an entire network of things. And pretty much all of them are just going to take some more of these replica ingots. So there we go. Now we got those. Now I need to count and hope it's enough.
A lot of boring math later.
Okay, so it's far from enough. So we need a backup plan. Because that means we're going to need more replica, but for those of you who've seen it established, we're only getting that from primal coal, which means we need the coal. Which I don't think I can actually get as a block form from this. Like, yeah, if I have a block of charcoal, are there 2 blocks of charcoal? No, there's not. I know that's happened before, but like, if I were to put that down there, and then just grab myself blaze powder, like, will that start... Wait, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Could this have worked the entire time? No, there's no way. I could have used the charcoal! Okay. I can live with that. I can live with that. That is fine. We don't need to get more coal. I had a plan, but I guess I don't need to do that. Okay, so I should hopefully have enough of it now. So, now what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to go ahead and make ourselves, hopefully most of our machines. We've got those things right here, but then we've got this thing called the disintegrator, which what the disintegrator takes is something called matter tanks, which are placed after it on the quest line again. It makes no sense. I'm supposed to not get the tanks until later, but apparently he wants me to get them before. I don't know, but there we go. We got the disintegrator. We're actually also going to want also grab ourselves a few more of these tanks. And then lastly, for the moment anyways, we're going to want ourselves the replicator itself. It's a very beautiful little machine right here. So there we go. Now we got ourselves the replicator and our disintegrator. And at the end of it, right over here, the replication terminal. It's very nice. And then as we can see right in here, it will show us an amount of things for different kinds of matter. It looks like there's only 8 of the matters. So that means that in total, I would need about 8 tanks to be able to hold every kind of matter. So we can just go ahead and then put these down like this for the moment. And yeah, power is going into them. That is good. And then what we're going to want to do is we're just going to want to put our tanks right up top right there. Let me go ahead and grab myself my tiny coal and my normal coal, because why not? if I go ahead and then put in the tiny coal, that is now going to eat that, and it's going to make myself 3 different kinds of matter. We have organic, which we can go ahead and lock to this one, earth, which we can lock to this one, and precious. Earth, precious, and organic are the components for coal. So if I just threw all of these into here, we will then slowly start to obtain even more matters in these things. And with these, we can actually also see how much matter it takes to be able to make one of these. For a coal, I would need 2 earth, 1 precious, and 1 organic. If I were to break this down into our 8 tiny coals, just one of these tiny coals will require only 1 earth, and the rest of it is the same. So that means if I were to replicate a coal, break it down, and then put that back in, I now have myself 4 coal where I used to have 1. That is my solution to the coal problem. Duplication, or rather, replication. So after that, what we could also now do is if I were to say put in our tiny coal right into here. Now, this is going to start processing from all the matter we have in our system, and then it will make us our tiny coal. This begs the question, could I use JEI? I could not. Okay, so I need to have at least 1 of the item in question if I want to be able to do this. This is so sick. And there it goes. It just rises from the ether. Oh, and we can also see that there's coal in there just being ground. Dude, the replication mod is sick. Alrighty, so I got everything else I should need. So now we just need to, why on earth did the recipe go like that? Why would it go to that recipe that no one would ever use? We got everything. We got our chip storage. Now we also got a chip. There we go. That is the replication quest line. Also completely done. That may also be the first one that I have completely done. And it's the one at the end. Yay. It's not like an actual end game thing though, but it just happens to be down there. So that is fine. So then what we're gonna want to do is fix this because I discovered that cabling can sometimes suck. But there we go. We also got ourselves a chip storage. So interesting. So now we can hold a certain number of slots. But what does any of this mean? Can I like identify traits? Like, how does this work? Okay, wait a minute. If I take this out and then put that in, oh my gosh, look at that! Remember how I said earlier, what in the Ben 10? What in the Ben 10 again? Okay, so now we got a memory chip with gold keratin. Wait, I understand now. Okay, so I think what this does is this holds a recipe. Okay, wait a minute. So I can hold up to 16 different things. If I go ahead and grab coal and then put this into here. Oh, okay. I noticed earlier that it wasn't letting me do anything with the carrot. That may have been due to a lack of resources. So now if I put that in there, now we have coal. I get it. So with everything that I have gotten, bear in mind, I put in only the tiny charcoal. We can now get ourselves 115 coal. Replication. It's no joke. Did you like this video? Good. Then be sure to check out our last Subnauticraft video where we got ourselves an integrated dynamic storage system. Bye-bye.